Welcome to the Monkey Wench podcast.
Yeah, dance and sing along podcast every Wednesday night.
Hey everyone.
Hi everybody. How are you doing tonight? We've got a great show for you.
Right. Yeah, we really do. Oh my goodness. Look, we have a whole bunch of great people in here. And I see a couple new names. So fantastic. And we usually start off with announcements and prayer requests and so on. And as usual, I don't have my, or do I? Let me look, because I started to get organized here for a little bit. So hold on. We do have some festivals and things coming up. And guys, if you know of any festivals in your area or wherever that I'm not mentioning, please go ahead and put it on the in the comments. Much appreciated. But let me see. September 26th, the Western Pennsylvania Case Expo. That is in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I don't have any more information than that, but you'll be able to get, just look it up on Facebook if you're on Facebook, or you should be able to Google it also. It usually comes under WPA Case, CASE, and that's in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, September 26th. September 19 and 20. The Mothman Festival. Now that's one I have not gone to yet, and it's really not that far from me. Okay, Gary. Yeah, the Hanobia, Oklahoma Bigfoot Festival. October 2, 3, and 4. That's one I really want to go to. And Texas Bigfoot Conference. Here, I'll pop these up so everyone can see them. October 16th through the 18th. Hanobia, Oklahoma Bigfoot Festival, October 2, 3, and 4. And if you haven't been to Hanobia, Oklahoma yet, I highly recommend, even if you can't make it to the conference, go there just a visit, because it's a beautiful area, very squatchy. Whenever I was there, we had some activity, and I may have gotten the photo of two, and I will always say possible Bigfoot. I'm not sure. There was two figures that I got a photo of, and they're very pixelated, so I'm not going to say what they are because I don't know.
Well, you know where you can get the clearest picture, right?
Where?
Right.
Yeah.
Right here. It's
right
not
here.
Pixelated too bad.
No. Yeah. Oh my. But yeah. So far, that's all I have. And thank you guys for throwing the other items in.
I threw my Pennsylvania outing on there from October 8th to 12th, but
okay.
If you go to Hanobia, you probably won't be back for that, but I'm counting on you being there, so we'll see what happens. We'll see who's more important.
Oh, but I'm not going to Hanobi. I can't afford it.
Okay.
I would love to go there. Love to go
Well,
there again. But no, I can't afford it, and I don't.
but
No.
see, mine's only like what, an hour away. So
But an hour and a half. Yeah.
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 So,
And no, yours is in the Allegheny National Forest.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places to go squatching.
same place as last year, unless it's already taken when I get there, because that's all open camping up there. So I try to get there a couple of days ahead of time to make sure I save the camping site.
That's a smart thing to do. Yeah, get there on a day whenever there's usually no one camping. Yeah, that's what I do whenever I'm doing something. I'll
October.
Go stay.
Gary put on there October 3rd is also that thing down there in Cornwallis.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Scott and Sheila Granger, I think they're doing that. Yeah, the town hall in Cornwallis.
I don't know why everybody likes the first week of October so good.
The weather is so perfect that time of year. I think no matter where you're at. That's why I usually wait until September, October, November. Heck, I've been camping out in the snow out in Ohio in middle of February before, so weather doesn't bother me. But yeah,
it doesn't bother me either because I got a furnace and air conditioning both.
Mine was in the back of my pickup truck and in my tent.
You also have your beard to keep your face warm.
Oh yeah. Well, this is the first. This is the
I gotta
first
burn
year
mine
for
out.
the big beard. Yeah, this is the first year that I've ever let a beard. This will be a year in October. I started it last October, and I wanted to see what would happen in a year. I've never done it before. I used to grow one in the winter, but just for 3 or 4 months, and then I'd shave it off. So this year I decided to let it go.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm going to have to start mine this winter, huh?
I'm just going to go like this.
Yes.
I don't think either one of you ladies have to worry about a beard. However, I have been in Walmart before and noticed a few bearded ladies. So they do exist. They're not at the carnival anymore. They're not at the carnival. They hang out at Walmart.
It's free admission. Just go in there and people watch.
And they ride those electric buggies around.
That's right.
So
that's right. I think there's an entire website and Facebook page and YouTube channels devoted just to the people of Walmart.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
It's awesome.
I didn't know that.
It makes me feel normal.
Yeah, doesn't it? Yes. That's it for the most part, but hey, at least for that, yeah. Okay. Now, before I get into the prayer requests, guys, I wanted to give, I received a praise for a good diagnosis from a friend. I'm not going to say her name because she didn't give me permission. I didn't ask, but God knows. God knows her name and her heart, and just all praise and glory for a good diagnosis after some tests were done. So it's wonderful. Yes. And
I can already tell you that they're going to find out I don't have one, but I'm actually going to the hospital tomorrow for a heart test. So
they find it.
Well, so it's a long story. Mary knows I've got an autoimmune disease that affects my muscles, and my heart is one of those muscles. And they say I've developed a murmur in my heart. Well, that just means my heart's getting weak, and that's eventually I'm at peace that that's how the Lord's going to bring me home. It's okay. I don't want people to feel sorry for me. It's just how everybody's got to go somehow. I just know how mine. But I don't understand why they want to bother testing my heart when they already know it's going to go bad. So, but they're doing that tomorrow, so we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, I'll put that in my prayers right here on my request. And Gary has a praise. Praise God, he found out yesterday he's cancer free.
Amen.
Yay!
Praise God. That's wonderful, Gary. Amazing.
So happy.
Amazing. That's wonderful news. Oh, we're just
That's
full
great.
full of great news. But okay, we've got a whole bunch of other people on here, and I'm not going to go over names or anything, but everyone knows their name. And if there's anyone else here in the audience who has a request, you don't need to write out any details. Just type out prayer request, and that's all you need to do. We're here. God knows what the problem is, and we'll pray for healing. That's all in God's hands, and God is good. He
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Yes.
But that's right, Tyler. When you have faith in Him, He won't give up on you. Yeah, and that's a promise.
True.
Absolutely.
That's so true.
I was watching. We had Dr. Dennis Carroll on last week, I think.
Yes.
And I watched a show with him last night where he did a little short segment. It was only about 10 minutes long on faith and fear, and that fear is the opposite of faith. And, you have to have faith, and the faith will overcome the fear. So if you have a fear of something, and I feel like God's given me peace with that. Like I said, if my reason for leaving this earth is because of a heart problem that's due to an illness I have, then I understand that's in His hands. And I look at it this way. A lot of people think that it's terrible when God takes somebody away, or especially if it's a young person, and I always said, maybe He'd rather have them with Him than have them here. And so I guess whenever He brings me there, then it's just because He wants me there, because I'm such a great guy.
Yes. You're going to be one of His warriors.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. He loves you. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we just need to be ready when God says it's time for us.
Mm-hmm.
When I pastored church, I always told we'd always have the young people until came time for Sunday school, and then they'd leave. But every week I'd tell them, I oftentimes would have a notice from the newspaper of some young person dying in a wreck or, whatever. But I'd always tell them, not one of those people ever woke up that morning and thought, today's the day I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Never happened.
No.
And so you got to be ready.
Yep, you absolutely do. All right. So I think that's all the announcements that I have. And again, anytime during the show, if anyone pops in and you have a prayer request, just go ahead and type. You can type into the comments prayer request, or you can also contact either myself or Mark, and we'll put you on our prayer list, our prayer chain. There's a lot of prayer warriors right here in the audience, and there's a lot of power right here.
Yeah, and I already put on there that if people have questions, put them in caps, because
Yes.
like my eyes are getting old. I can't see that little type all the time.
Yes. Yeah, we both, Mark and myself, we try to keep track of any questions or anything that you want to ask the guest. So please type it in all capital letters. That way we can spot it and we'll pop it up on the screen. And that way Natalie will see it and we'll see it. And
I can answer any questions that you have.
Oh, really?
Any questions? Any questions you have?
Any questions?
Any
wow.
questions? Now, it may not be a correct answer, but it will be an answer.
All right.
So I also remind everybody that they need to hit the like button, or Mary will get in her incredible Hulk outfit and come visit you.
That's right.
So
Oh, smash.
hit the like button,
Right.
hit the share button, and make a comment. It doesn't matter if it's a good comment or a bad comment. Say, I hate Mark. That's fine. That's a comment. Just put a comment in there. Put a comment in there. It helps. It helps the channel.
Just don't curse. Just be nice.
Nice comments.
That's right.
If it's about me, I don't care. They can say whatever they want.
Oh, hey, there's Leonard. Good to see you, Leonard. Okay. Oh, here we go.
Okay, that's
Paul
Paul.
fits
And
in.
Paul, no, you're not allowed to ask any question that you want. You know better. We hang out all. We're on the same podcast together. I'm his co-host in Paranormal Among Us, and we do dowsing rod sessions. And
Okay.
yeah, we're like brother and sister, and we annoy each other as much as possible.
I had a feeling that he was connected to you somehow.
Oh yeah.
All right, good. Well, tell you what, guys, let's go ahead and get started. And Natalie, would you please introduce yourself and then tell us about yourself and what's going on and any adventures and stuff going on?
I got tons of stuff.
Good. That's good.
So, hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Natalie Smearman. I am a cryptid investigator. I am a paranormal investigator. I also investigate anything of high strangeness. I am also working with documentaries. I am a producer of a talk show, and I am the co-host of 4 podcasts. So I'm a little busy. I'm also a mom of 2. My son is 21 and my daughter is 18. And I have 4 bonus children who are all over the age of 29. So I take in strays. You know, if you need a mom, I'm here. I am here.
Right there.
Yes. And Gary, you are right. Greg and Paul are scared to death of me because I chased Greg around a festival. Yeah, because he deserved it. So a little bit about me is I grew up in the northern panhandle of West Virginia near Pittsburgh. And so it was a steel town, but it was, we were pretty much in the forest. And so we always heard growing up about, Bigfoot, and we would all laugh and nobody believed it. And we all thought that the parents were what made up this story of Bigfoot to, prevent kids from going into the woods, and drinking or doing something they weren't supposed to do or something like that. And we were all like, okay, Bigfoot. So, growing up, we heard, living in Appalachia, you close your blinds, don't whistle in the woods. If you hear your name, no, you didn't. The whole thing. And there was a lot of very high strangeness in the hills of West Virginia and a lot of feral people as well. And we knew about them. You just didn't go in certain areas. So when I learned later on in life that people didn't believe in feral people, I'm going, what are you talking about? Of course they're there.
Yet they didn't see my relatives there. They're from West Virginia.
I guarantee you I'm related to half of them. It's just like...
We have plenty of them around here.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to ask you later about who knows, we may be related.
That could be. So growing up, I didn't get into cryptids right away. I had paranormal experiences starting at the age of 3, where I was at my grandmother's house and I was playing in the yard and my mom was there and my grandmother was there. And I ran to Grandma Hannah and I was yelling, Grandma Hannah, and I had my arms open. And I remember that. I was so excited. And Grandma Hannah passed away many, many years ago before I was born. My grandmother and my mother looked at each other like, what is happening right now? I remember the looks on their faces to this day. And so it was a remarkable experience. Yes, I'm 5'1", still not fully grown. I'm still, like a garden gnome, as Greg calls me. And so it was pretty profound. But as I was growing up, the home that we lived in had a lot of activity in it. And, my parents always dismissed it, but I was like, no, there's things happening. I'm hearing things, I'm seeing things out of the corner of my eye, and then I went through a really, really tough time around 12, 13 years old. And stuff at home was going bad. I would go to school just for a break. And, one night I went to bed and I woke up in the middle of the night and Grandma Hannah was standing at the foot of my bed.
Oh.
And she was as cute as a button because she was just the little thing, even littler than me, that Paul. She had a little bun on the top of her head and she had a little house dress on. And, she was just smiling at me and she was just glowing in this white hue. And then she just disappeared.
Wow.
And it was almost like, you're not alone. I'm watching over you and it's okay. You're going to get through this. So the next day I told my grandmother what happened. And I said, I need to see another picture of her. And there, lo and behold, I'm like, that's her. She was standing at the foot of my bed. So as time went on, moving and different things, I was still experiencing very strange paranormal activity, even after moving to Florida. And once I got to Florida, because I got to Florida in 1992, and I not only heard on the news that there was a Bigfoot sighting in the Ocala National Forest, I started to experience very peculiar paranormal activity. So to get to the Bigfoot sighting, I thought it was always a joke. And then to find out that there was an actual sighting, it's on the news and investigators were going to investigate it. I'm going, okay, there's something more to this. And me being me, I want to go and I want to learn more. I want to read everything about it. I want to watch everything about it. And I want to study it. I want to learn as much as I can. So that started my journey into Bigfoot, not cryptids holistically, but Bigfoot. And so whenever I got a chance, I would read up and learn, and where are they located? What are their patterns and different things? So that started the journey. Side note, this paranormal activity that started, I couldn't even begin to explain. I was asking people I'm going to bed at night and I'm hearing men chanting around me. And I wake up or I sit up and nothing's there and I'm not asleep. And every time I lay down every single night, there's this murmur and chanting in this deep, guttural, male, many men voices. And I knew it wasn't good. And I grabbed my Bible and I laid with it on my chest and it stopped. And I'm like, okay, whatever this is evil and it's not good. So every night I went to sleep with my Bible on my chest and it went away completely and it never came back.
Wow.
So I would, continue on, got married. And as I, had some kids and, went on, and I kept hearing about, oh, here's another Bigfoot sighting. Here's another Bigfoot sighting. And I'm going, what in the world is going on here? And so now Finding Bigfoot comes out on TV. And I'm like, now this is my opportunity to learn. And when I started watching the show, I realized, okay, I'm watching this show and I'm going, okay, I'm reading things and they're doing things that you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to chalk this up as things that you're not supposed to do and maybe add a little bit of what you're supposed to do, like talking to locals. I love talking to locals. They are the best people to talk to when you have an encounter, when you want to learn about the area, when you want to, what cryptids are in this area. So that I took away from that. Everything else, it's like, okay, it's a hit and miss. So then more documentaries came out, more books came out. And my kids are growing up watching all of this. We would go out on a walk or something, or they would go out in the forest or something, and they would do the Ohio howl, and just little things, going out there. And so we had fun with it. We never got to see anything with the little kids, but we didn't go that far out. So I knew I couldn't do any large investigations on my own because I had little children.
Yeah.
I said, I'm just going to study and watch what I can until it comes time for them to be grown enough for me to go out and do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we then have a house. Well, I'm sorry. Let me go back. We moved to Massachusetts, moved to Boston for work, because my work had me traveling all around. I've lived in 8 states. I've lived everywhere because of work. And so we moved to Boston, and Boston is one of the most haunted areas I have ever seen. In fact, when real estate agents sell a house, that sign in the front yard, it will say not haunted or haunted. They will advertise. And so it's very normal for you to see not haunted and haunted on a real estate sign. So we were experiencing stuff all the time, to the point that it was so normal. I'm like, okay, there went another shadow figure. Okay, there went that. I would have footsteps walking into the bedroom. Nothing's there. I would have my bed being hit or pushed. Nothing's there. And I'm like, listen, I'm so tired. I got to work. I'm trying to explain. I'm like, whatever it is. So I lived there for about 4 years, and this went on and on and on. But I wasn't the only one. Everybody around there was experiencing this. They're like, oh yeah, it happens. It's like regular, like past the mashed potatoes. We had another encounter last night at the house. So it became pretty normal. So moved back to Florida for work, and I got remarried and we bought a home in a beautiful neighborhood down here in Lake Mary. And we moved in, everything was fine for the first 3 months. And then all of a sudden, a shadow figure appeared. Little shadow figure. Not big. And he would be close to the ground, peeking around corners and back. And that's all he would just peek. And I'm going. And I had a feeling that he was attached to something. But he would only hang out in the master bedroom, master bath, master closet, our guest bathroom that was right outside, in our laundry room. Just this one little area of the house. That's it. And I realized he wasn't going to leave. He was there. And I'm like, so I decided, okay, I'm going to sage the house. I'm going to pray over the house. I'm going to do everything that I can. And then I'm going to have a conversation with him. And I made a list of rules on a piece of paper. And I said, listen, you don't want to be here. I don't want you here. I don't know why you're here, but here are the rules of the house. And I went down the list of rules. I said, you live by these rules. We can live in peace and harmony, and everything will be great. If you don't live by these rules, things are going to get real bad for you. So for 8.5 years, we lived wonderfully together. I'm like, you can peek all you want. You can, whatever that you want to do. If you want to look at something, feel free to. And I even made a joke. I'm like, if you want to do the dishes or the laundry, I'm totally down, but I get it if you don't. So about 8.5 years later, my marriage started to dissolve, and there was a lot of negative energy in our home. And so it went from our little, I called him Shadow Dude because I didn't have a name for him. I just called him Shadow Dude. Shadow Dude went from little to about 6 feet tall.
Oh.
He grew with the negative energy that was happening in the house.
Yeah.
And one of my rules was don't ever stand over me when I'm sleeping. I woke up, he was standing right here over me, watching me sleep. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Next day, kids go to school. I sage everything. I pray over everything, and I threatened them. I said, you broke a rule. Don't do it again, because if you do, it's going to get real ugly.
Yeah.
So he kept feeding off this negative energy, because my soon-to-be ex was still living in the house, because under Florida law, because we both own the home, we have to reside in it.
Yeah.
So I'm living upstairs. He's living downstairs with Shadow Dude, because he had such a negative attitude and he was just really, really angry. Shadow Dude kept growing and growing and getting more bold. And so it ended up with my son running upstairs one night going, Mom, I was just in the guest bathroom, and something from the master bedroom just growled at me.
Oh, line crossed.
Now, see?
Yeah.
I'm like, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? You stay up here. The kids went to school the next day. I worked from home, and I went downstairs and I let him have it. I'm like, I will drag you to the depths of hell. I said, you crossed the line again. I said, if I see you, it's on. I'm going to take you down to hell. So he didn't show his face again until we went away for Thanksgiving. The kids and I went away for Thanksgiving, came back a week later because we went on a cruise, came back middle of the day. The kids go in first. I'm gathering stuff. I walk in, and Shadow Dude is standing in the doorway of the master bedroom. I said, is this how you want to go? And he just disappeared like that. And so I told the kids, I said, just stay upstairs. And then the following week, my ex packed his stuff and moved out. And Shadow Dude left with him.
Oh.
Whatever he was attached to left with him. And all of a sudden, that air, that feeling, that vibe in that whole area lightened up.
Yeah.
Everything left. Now, I will tell you that the whole neighborhood had paranormal activity in it. In this area, we had a lot of Seminole Indian tribe history all over the area. We collectively felt that there was unmarked graves on the land that they built the homes on. Everybody was having some sort of paranormal activity, and nothing bad. It was like, a vase moves, or a dog staring at something that's not there, or somebody hears somebody giggling or whispering. It was so benign. Nothing like what Shadow Dude was doing to us. But it was just really, so there was one day, and this is when Shadow Dude was well behaved and following the rules. Nothing was going on. And at our laundry room door, I hear 3 knocks. I'm going, oh no, I may have left the garage door open. And I was very friendly with the neighbors. We all hung out, good friends. I'm thinking to myself, we left the garage door open and they're letting us know.
Oh.
I open the door, nothing's there. Garage door's shut. And I'm going, and I'm like, I know what I heard. So shut the door, saged again. 6 months later, I'm sitting on the couch. My husband at the time was sitting on the couch too. We're watching TV. And in the kitchen, we hear 3 knocks on the cabinet door in the kitchen behind us. I look at him, he looks at me, and we're looking like, now, at first, I looked in all the cabinets because did something come in? Did a critter come in and need to get out, and they're trying to push the door? We have raccoons, there's possums, there's snakes, there's everything in Florida. I looked in every cabinet going, is there something in the cabinet that's trying to get out? Nothing was there. I even went outside to look around the house. Nothing's there. So we had that happen a couple times, but it wasn't aggressive. They just wanted to get our attention.
Right.
Not a big deal. I'm down with that. You can knock, I'm fine. But Shadow Dude was really prevalent, but I think the biggest story was around my son. At a very young age, he would see spirits. And even when I was pregnant with my daughter, he had an ear infection. So he was laying in bed with me and he woke me up. He goes, Mom, who's that man standing in the doorway? Now, me, I freak out. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, that man standing in the doorway. I'm like, there's nobody there. He goes, Mom, the man standing right there. Who is it? I'm like, I don't know. He goes, well, he just walked away. I'm like, okay, well, tell him bye. Don't know. So I'm like, okay. So he would always see spirits. My daughter, when she was born, would see them not as often as he did, but every once in a while she would. So I always taught them, listen, some spirits are passing through. Some of them are family members that they just want to say hello. They want to just, check up on you. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, maybe it's a milestone. Maybe it's a birthday. They just want to visit. So just be friendly and say hello. The ones that are passing through, that's a privilege, because that means that we're happy to them. That's a place where they feel at ease and at comfort. And so always make them feel welcome. Don't be afraid. And so there was a couple times that we would have passing ghosts, like they would come in and pass through and just hang out maybe for a day or two and move on. And this one little boy kept visiting my daughter, visited her 4 nights in a row because she redecorated her room and made it really cool. And he must have loved it. So he would sit at the end of her bed and just kind of just like take it all in. And she's like, Mom, there's a little boy in my room. I'm like, well, just be nice to him, And so she would come back down and, the boy's in my room again. I'm like, okay, yeah, he really likes your room. So she's like, yeah, he's just hanging out in there. It's okay. So I made sure that they were never afraid.
Yeah.
But the one thing that happened to my son, and this started happening early on, he told me, he goes, Mom, there's a dark man in my room with this hat on with a brim. Watching over me. And I'm going, no. Okay. I said, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get rid of him.
Hat man. Yeah.
And I said, you don't talk to him. That's somebody you don't talk to. That's not a friendly.
Yeah.
He goes, okay. So I saged, I prayed, and I told him, no, you're not coming back here. You're going to go away and you're going to leave me and my family alone. Okay. Didn't come back for like 6-8 months. He appears again. So I go do it again. And this was happening like every 6 to 8 months, he would come back around. Well, as my son got older, the visits started to be more frequent and longer. And I'm like, no, I'm like, I was starting to get stern. I'm like, I told you not to come back. Well, then Hat Man followed my son to school. And he was in the hallway of my son's school watching him going to class.
Oh, my.
So I told my son, I said, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to a friend's house right down the road. I said, I'm going to take care of this. He goes, okay, Mom. And he knew like to take his sister down there. And I saged, I prayed, and I told Hat Man, I said, let me tell you. I said, you show up here again, I will drag you to the depths of hell. And I will make sure that you remain there. And he never came back. So yes, I did do that. And he went away for about 8-9 months and then came back. It was really like, I felt like he took it as a threat and was like, okay, but let me just see if I can do it again. And so once I got really angry and stern and threatened him, that's when he never came back. So it was really, really profound, the type of activity that we have had. I mean, I have relatives, of course, checking up on us, all the friendlies. And now I have my house, completely protected. Only friendly spirits are allowed in here. And I talk to them on the regular. My grandmother always visits, and I have a teacher that visits, and, it's wonderful. feel like we have this protection of spirits around us, just really there for us. So when I went through my divorce, which was probably the worst time of my life, the lowest point I have ever been, I felt so alone and just absolutely just down and out. I'm like, I cannot be any lower than this. And I was crying every day. It was bad. And I always, throughout my life, 316 always came up when it was almost like, hey, we've got you. 316. I would see I was born on 316, you know, John 316, and everything came up 316, 316, 316. So I started praying so hard. I'm like, God, Jesus, angels, archangels, guardian angels, spirit guides, I need everybody. Please don't leave me alone. I'm like, I need you here. I don't know. Please protect us. Please this. I just went on and on and on. And I was just down and out, and I cried myself to sleep. And you know how you wake up sometimes and you're like, oh my God, I just, something happened and you get a rush. And that's what happened. I woke up going, and I looked at my phone and it said 316. I was like, I got you. Okay. All right. So then I think God and Jesus and the angels and the spirit guides got a good laugh out of me afterwards, because what I would do is I would pray every day throughout the day. But when I needed something like a hard request, I'm like, I'm going to need a round table conversation here. I need everybody here with your drinks. And I'm like, this is what I need. And I think, it's almost like they were laughing at me, like, okay. And they would always come through. They would always deliver. And I always had all of that protection. And I was so thankful for that. And they, the spirit world, God, Jesus, everybody had me just covered with their protection. And I was so thankful, and I'm thankful every day for that. So that's how I guard myself. And even when I go out and do field investigations for cryptids and for the paranormal, well, after the divorce, like right as that happened, I said, you know what, my kids are old enough now. I think what I'm going to do is for my own birthday present to myself, I'm going to get a VIP ticket to the Ocala Bigfoot conference. And so there was a dinner Friday night, and then there was a big conference the next day. I had front row seats. I got myself a hotel room. The kids went with their dad because I had divorced. Their dad and I, we remained friendly, but he lives in St. Pete with his wife. So they were going down there for the weekend. I'm like, I'm going to go away. So I went there by myself, and I sat in the hotel room, and I kept replaying Psalms 91 and Psalms 23 for protection. And I just kind of meditated, and I'm like, this weekend, I'm going to talk to as many people and I just got myself like, okay, I'm going to talk to as many people as I can, learn as much as I can. I went into the VIP dinner, and I started making friends right away. I was talking to everybody. And then the speakers were there, and one of them was Adam Davis. And so there was RPG was there. Ken Gerhardt was there. Then there was Russ Accord. He was there. And then a young man by the name of Daniel Barnett. He was 15 at the time, and a young man from the UK with autism.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So they said, okay, you're done eating. I was so nervous. I couldn't eat. I drank water. So I was like, and so then they said, okay, get up, go ahead, start mingling. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start mingling. I started walking up to all these speakers. Yeah, I know. He can never get me to stop talking, because I'll talk. I'll talk to a wall if it'll listen.
That's why you're here. Please go on. Ignore him.
I know. I ignore him anyway. Anyway. So I went up to Adam. I'm like, hi. He's like, oh my gosh, how are you? You know, the UK thing. I'm like, oh my God. So we just, made immediate friends. I walked up to RPG and he's like, oh my gosh, how are you? Everybody's so friendly.
Yeah.
Everybody's so nice. They're taking extra time with everybody.
Yeah.
We're having group pictures. I am literally having the time of my life. And so Renee Holland was there, and there was a few other smattering of people. So these are all the people that I have watched over the years, and I have studied. And whether it be Discovery Channel or wherever, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, this is what I want. So then I'm like, it gets over, and I'm go back to the hotel, and I am wired. I'm like, I'm going to go downstairs because I couldn't eat. I'm going to get like a little appetizer and a cocktail, and maybe that'll calm me down, get me unwired. I sit down at the bar, I order my appetizer and my drink, and I'm listening to somebody over here say something, and I hear, hey, I just met you. And I look over, and it's Renee Holland from Finding Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And I'm going, yeah. So she sits down and has a drink with me. And all of a sudden, all these other speakers start showing up. And so lo and behold, I spent the whole evening talking to everybody. I met Daniel Barnett and his dad. I met his dad.
Okay.
And then I met all these other folks. We ended up hanging out the whole evening. The next day, had breakfast with Renee, drove her over to the conference, then hung out with everybody. And Adam was like, come to my booth, hang out here. We're going to have so much fun. And then Daniel's like, please stop by. I want to see you. And I said, Daniel, we're literally across the way from each other in the hotel. We're going to see each other. No, I want you to come by. I'm like, okay. And I mean, I was like immediately like family.
Yeah.
And so I got to meet all these people in the audience, and we're talking, and it was just a shift in my life.
Yeah.
And
quick
I'm like,
story about, sorry to interrupt.
oh, no, go ahead.
Quick story about Renee. I had met her in 2014 at, they were filming a town hall in Pennsylvania, in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. And I was in the town hall, and I met, all of them. But the one that I had the longest conversation with, I just sat on the curb, on the sidewalk with her, just chatting. And she was the friendliest, the most approachable, the greatest. I enjoyed talking with her very, very much. And
I give her a lot of credit because she spent a lot of time that day with a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I give her a lot of credit because she takes the time with everybody.
Yeah.
So it was really, that day, that whole weekend shifted my entire existence, because not only now am I friends with all these people, I now have the courage to saying, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do my own investigation. Then I got asked, hey, why don't you come to Gatlinburg and volunteer for Gather Up events at the Bigfoot conference up here? You'll get to know more people. Well, shoot, can I do that? Yeah. So I did. And I ended up meeting a ton more people. I met Amy Boo.
Okay.
And Lester, who is hilarious.
Oh my God, Lester. Yes.
Stories about him. But also Shane Corson was there.
Yeah.
RPG was there again. So I got to, hang out with everybody again. And then I spent an extra day because I wanted to go in the forest. Well, Amy, Lester, and Shane wanted to go too. Okay. So we all went out the entire day, and I'm in the forest with them, these experienced, Squatch investigators, and I'm observing what they're doing. Yeah. And I'm going.
Amy used to be a part of my team way back.
So it was such an amazing time. And then, so I've got friends with everybody. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to figure out where I can go. You know, what can I do? So my daughter was going to go with her stepsister and a few others to the Taylor Swift concert in Miami. And I said, you know what, let's go ahead and schedule a visit with FAU, which is a university she wanted to go to. And I said, I'll take you down there. I'll drop you off at the hotel with them. And then I'm going to go to the Skunk Ape headquarters. And I'm going to go ahead because there's a big campground way behind there. And I'm going to camp. And I said, I'll come back and pick you up after the weekend is over and drive you back. So first time camping ever by myself. I had to watch a YouTube video. And so I go out to the Everglades, to the Skunk Ape headquarters. It's surrounded by swamps. I told them I was solo camping and they're like, it's okay. You'll be fine. You know, you're here. We do have somebody that is living over, well, it was way over there if there's an emergency. And there was another set of campers, but they were way, way off in the distance. And I saw their fire from way off. So I had my whole thing going on and I just decompressed. I had the most relaxing time, but yes. I made myself look vulnerable.
Okay.
Here I am, this woman camping alone. What's going to come up and get me? So I had my bear spray with me. I always carry bear spray. Everybody knows that. And so I always carry a knife. So nothing was happening during the day. I stayed up as long as I could. And then I went in my tent and I'm just laying there. And then I got woken up about 1:30 to a tweet, like a little bird chirp.
Okay.
I'm going, it was just one chirp.
Yep.
And I'm going, what's that? So a couple minutes later, I hear giant footsteps right beside my tent. And I'm going, okay. And then I hear what sounds like a toddler trying to talk. Garbled talk. Now, I did see a shadow and it was on all fours with a long tail.
Okay.
And I'm like, so then the next morning I asked the people up at the Skunk Ape headquarters and they called one of their local animal people and like, yeah, that was a male Florida panther in heat. Like, well, you know, I always joke now, I'm like, it saw a cougar in a tent and was like, hey girl, you know, and then it just went from there. You know, I choose to look at it that way. So the next night, more campers came in and then nothing happened, but it was such a great experience because I got to do that. It built my confidence up. I got to test things out without anybody putting pressure on me. It was fantastic. So then I got invited back a month later to their Gator Festival, which a friend of mine, Marie Dumont,
yes,
she was holding an event there and she was taking folks out for a little fee. I think it was like $10 or something to go out squatching after that. So I came back and had the best time. And again, in the middle of the night, everybody was asleep. Nobody was up because we had a full day. And I hear an owl. I'm going, okay, we're going to hear what's next. And then, because right beyond that is all swamp. And what we refer to as hammocks, which are like these little land areas that have trees on them. So they're little hammocks peppered throughout the swamp. Now, you really don't want to walk out there because it's covered with alligators. There's alligators, there's snakes, there's all kinds of bad stuff out there. So I start hearing something in the distance, and it was almost like a weird chatter, but it wasn't. It kept repeating itself, and then another one would do it. And it was going back and forth for a good minute and a half. And I'm going, and I'm just laying there, and then it just stops. So the next morning, I asked Marie and everybody that was there, I'm like, did y'all hear this? They're like, no, we were sound asleep. I'm going, nobody heard it. So I was like the only one that heard it. I'm like, oh. So anyway, we did go out into the swamp, and there was a good portion of us were out there, and we just so happened a 4-H camp just randomly showed up. So some of them came with us, which was really kind of cool. And we walked into the swamp, and some of the kids were really like, is that a gator slide? And like, yeah, that's a big gator. Wherever it's at, we just have to keep an eye out for it. And so we were walking and we're trenching through. And I mean, it's not an easy hike going through the swamp. Then we come across this tree that was cracked off of the base. The base looked like it was ripped to a point, like twisted or ripped to a point. The bottom of the tree was balanced on this little point and laid out to balance on the other tree limbs. And it was about 30 feet. And we're all looking at this like, who would have done that? There's no other explanation. It's got to be a tree structure of some sort. It's got to be, because there's nobody around that's going to walk down here. We had to really trudge through a lot of stuff. So that was the first year I went down there. I went down there again last year, and we went to a different location. We still had a larger group with us, and Mike Aguilar was out there, and Marie was out there. She was filming, and we had a bunch of other folks, and Josh Padilla and Animal. And so Josh and I were walking, and this was more of a path that went out into the middle of nowhere. And we were like, okay, well, let's see what we can find. There was a gentleman with us who had never been squatching. First time out. He must have went out and bought every piece of gear that he could, including the outfit and the hat. And we're like, good for you. And so we are making our way down the path. Now, Josh and I were kind of ahead, and we both stopped because up ahead we saw at the same time, split second, an indigenous tribe member, Indian, in full headgear and outfit, and it went like that and disappeared. And I'm like, did you see? He saw it and I saw it. I said, there's something down there. So we let everybody know what we just saw. We got down there, and as soon as we got down there, off to the right is an open area, like a clearing with no trees. It was just a little marshy. So I've been working on using my third eye to see things. I've been really trying to practice and work on that. And I said, okay, let me just see if I could see something. I honed in, and immediately I saw that indigenous tribe member standing there sideways looking at a woman, an indigenous woman, beautiful. And you could tell that she was of some sort of hierarchy. And then there were about 5 other members around her, males, younger, that looked like they were warriors of some sort. And they're all staring at me. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell people what I'm seeing. And so I introduced myself. I said that we're here to just be, protective of the land. We're going to honor it. And we're going to be very respectful. They're still staring. And so we all did it. They weren't budging. Well, we had children with us again. And I said, kids, come here. I said, this is what I want you to do. They did that. No sooner did the last child come up and sing and introduce themselves and say how respectful they're going to be. It just like that, they washed through me, through Josh, and through Mike behind me. Now, I'm used to that, having a spirit rush through me. It's that cold rush.
Yeah.
Josh he's had that done too, but Mike never had that done. And he goes, what was that? What was that? I'm like, that was their way of saying, thank you. They're allowing us to proceed forward. And so that way we were protected. They knew we were going to be very respectful. We get to down the rest of the path into an open clearing. Mike lets out a howl, and then we get a howl back way in the distance. And so I said, he does it again. We get another howl in a distance. So I said, okay, they're pretty far off. You know, it is what it is. So let's just see what else we can find. So Marie is doing her filming, and it's starting to get dark. And the young man whose first time it is for him being out, he was like, he wanted to be involved. So they're like, okay, go out just beyond where we're filming in like this little marshy area, and with a flashlight, you know, look like you're looking around. So that's what he's doing. My friend Josh is filming all of this, her being filmed and the gentleman. So I'm kind of doing my thing. I'm kind of looking around. It's just beautiful out there. It's gorgeous. And so they get done. They start, you know, moving about, and Josh is looking at what he filmed, and he goes, oh no. I said, what? He goes, look at this. Now, I was watching the gentleman in the field because you want to make sure that alligators don't get them.
Yes.
You know, we're all there. We're all watching out. If there's an alligator there, we're going to say something. There wasn't. We were watching him. We knew nothing was out there. He goes, look at this. So as he's shining the flashlight around, Josh caught the face of a Bigfoot right in front of his face, right in front of the flashlight, plain as day. And I'm going, oh, I mean, you saw everything in the film. So we're like, and he's showing other people. Now we can't find this guy because he's now down the path with somebody else. So I'm like, okay. I said, we'll show him once we get back out to the main road, because we got to get going. As we're moving back out to the main road, somebody stops going, look at this. There was some pretty high grass, and there were large tracks about 4 feet apart and making its way into the forest. Now, it's not something that we could have done a casting because it was grass, but
Right.
we could see how large it was. And then on the other side, there was a smaller set of tracks and moving around the other way. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so adorable. But we got pictures, we got video, we got it all.
Wow.
And so we got it all documented. And then once we got out, we showed the young man, look what we caught right in front of you. He lost his mind.
I'll bet. Yeah.
He ran.
Good thing he didn't see it then whenever it was there.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. So those are the couple of times that I was down in the Everglades. And, you know, Mark, you and I talked about the difference between, you know, skunk apes and Bigfoot. You know, I am in the same, I agree. You know, they're all of a large creature, a large bipedal creature that we don't understand. Just like there's the Yeti, there's the orang pendek, there's the Yowie, there's a skunk ape, there's a Sasquatch. You know, I mean, it is what it is. And I think they're all of, like, there's different types of deer, different types of dog, there's different types of squatches.
Right.
And so,
Well, and fortunately, we humans don't all look alike, because if we all look like me, there'd be no reproduction.
you know, I say the same thing about Greg Ogles. You know, oh, yeah. So, you know, with all the things that I've you know, investigated, and I've had such good times. After I met Adam, we stayed in touch through social media. And so I met him in June of 2024. So I did start doing investigations later that year out in the field, and I was documenting a lot of things, and I was going into the forest and just trying to do as much as I could and document it. And I think my main goal was just to encourage other women my age to go just because your kids are getting older doesn't mean that you lose your identity.
Yeah.
You can get out in the forest. You can do whatever you want. And that's what I was trying to encourage people to do. Go out and just be brave and do something one time by yourself. And I promise you, you'll do great and you'll have a good time. So that was my only goal in all of this, and just to learn as much as I could. So February of 2025, I'm sitting in the parking lot of PetSmart buying, dog food, cat food, and tortoise bedding. And I get a message. Aw, thank you. So I get a message from Adam going, hey, I need to talk to you. Can I call you? I said, yeah, go ahead. He goes, listen, I'm working with Relic Films, and we have a film coming up about a missing persons case in the Smoky Mountains. And we need a female investigator, and we would like for you to see if you would like to do that. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, abso-freaking-lutely. He goes, well, let me have you talk to our producer and owner of Relic Films. He's, great guy. His name's Greg Ogles. And I'm like, great. So that night, had a conversation. It was only supposed to be 15 minutes. An hour later, Greg and I finally get off the phone. And they're like, okay, can you be in the Smoky Mountains in 2 weeks? Because that's when we're going to start filming. I'm going, oh my God. Yeah. I'm like, I will make it happen. So at that time, I had a very understanding boss, and I told him what happened. He's like, go. If you don't go, I will be so mad at you. I'm like, I'm going. And so got up there, met Greg face-to-face, met Jim Powell. I saw Adam Davis again, and then met a few other people. And so we talked about the filming. We talked about what their vision was. And we started to go out the first night. And I'm like, okay, you tell me, what are my boundaries? They're like, there aren't any. I'm like, seriously, I can just go. They're like, yeah, investigate how you want to investigate. I'm like, now I did have homework for that over those 2 weeks, because I needed to know the 2 missing person cases inside and out, one more than the other. Mike Heron, one of the missing person cases I needed to know about, but the Dennis Martin case from the 60s, I had to know inside out and upside down because I had to speak on it. So I read the FBI archives, all 133 pages of it that were redacted, and I did a timeline summary of it. And I'm like, this is what's going on. It was, if that investigation happened now, people would be fired.
Yeah.
It was very, very sad that how many people turned their head the other way. And so it was very peculiar, very strange. And so we talked about it. We went into the forest. We went into very strange locations. We went into Kate's Cove. So we got to experience a lot of things. The first night, we started seeing orbs, different colored orbs, green ones, blue ones, red.
That's just up the road from me.
Yeah, red, orange. We were seeing orbs all over the place.
Yep.
And I'm going, I said, is this normal? They're like, no, this is not normal for this to happen.
Yeah, it is kind of.
Well, yeah, but I don't, not for me. I've never seen that before.
Well, I understand, but
yeah. So, so then we had that, but I kept getting this weird feeling in this one area. And I'm going, I have a bad feeling like right here. And they're like, walk this way, walk that way. I said, I don't have it over here. I said, I have it right here. I feel my stomach's in knots. I'm having a hard time breathing. I'm like, I feel like I'm being choked. I'm like, this is not okay. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So there was some high energy there, high strangeness. We didn't get anything on the therm. We didn't get any kind of paranormal activity other than how I felt. So, the next night we went out again, and we went to this one area called Happy Valley. And so we get out there and we're trekking out for a while, and we get to an area and we just sit down.
Not real happy there.
No, it's not happy there. It's not happy there at all. I don't know why they called it Happy Valley.
Well,
So-
it was named before all this happened.
Yeah. So we're sitting there and it's getting dark and we're not, no flashlights, no nothing, because we need to see everything around us.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we hear metal on metal. Bang, bang, bang. And I'm going, okay. And then I'm like, okay, let's just pause a moment and reflect on, let's see if it happens again. Well, not only does it happen again, it moves closer to us. Bang, bang, metal on metal. Then it happens again right at the tree line. And we're like, okay, we're filming, we're getting all this on film, we're getting everything happening. And then all of a sudden, this flash of light. And then the orbs show up. I'm like, okay, we're having all these orbs and all this stuff happening. Well, then all of a sudden, this wind picks up, and I'm like, the storm's coming in because we got a storm alert. Greg goes, listen, we got enough on film for tonight. A storm's moving in. We got to get out of here because we still have to hike out of here. And it's not a short hike. Well, we didn't make it in time. These winds started kicking through, and they were hurricane force winds. We were hunkered down when these bands would come through. Tree limbs are falling on us. We are just running in between these winds, and it was wild. We get back to the truck, and somebody goes, somebody goes, oh, we're safe. And Greg goes, no, we ain't. There's one way out of here. And if a tree came down, we're done. Lo and behold, tree came down, massive tree, massive. We couldn't move it, couldn't get around it. We had to call the authorities to come out and chainsaw it. And we then got out of there, got back. And so the power went out in Townsend, came back on, but it blew the engine for the well, and we're without water. In fact, nobody had water. And so we were without water for 3 days.
Oh,
We were feral by that time.
no.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was this the Dennis Martin part that you were investigating right now?
That was the one
Okay.
for the vanished. Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose you said you had a question or an answer for everything.
Yeah.
Why was the FBI involved in that?
I know why. So in the film, in The Vanished, we interviewed a gentleman he only would go by South Force because he didn't want his name out there and he didn't want his face to be shown. But he explained that the feral people in and around that area were so prevalent at that time.
They still are.
Oh, yes. He explained to me that generations back, the government came in, and these very poor families that were living in and around that area, they would offer large sum of money to go out and unalive these feral people.
Jeez.
So every year, it was like hunting season. They would get a ton of money, and that's what they were like, yeah, we'll do it, because that was keeping them afloat. It was giving them money.
And they're still not popular. I mean, the feral people are not popular at all.
No, they're not.
Imagine.
And so they would go out and thin out the population of feral people. So when this happened to Dennis Martin, the FBI came in thinking immediately it was a feral person who did this.
Well, but even so, my point is the FBI typically doesn't get involved in missing persons cases unless they're someone really high profile.
Right.
And Dennis Martin was not high profile.
No, he wasn't. But this case so here's the thing. The FBI was present. They were not active. So the people that were actively looking for him were locals, the police or sheriff's office, as well as the military came in because there was a military exercise going on around there.
But that was very much out of the ordinary as well.
Very out of the ordinary.
There was a lot about Dennis Martin that was very out of the ordinary.
Very. So as I was reading through the FBI, these archives, the dad was calling the FBI every single day.
Right.
And basically being told, just, there's nothing more we can do. And so the dad did a lot of investigating on his own. So there was a family that witnessed something carrying something with a red shirt.
Right, right.
Okay. In the FBI files, they almost dismissed it as mistaken identity. They were like, well, there was nothing conclusive.
Right.
And so there was a lot of weirdness around there. There were witnesses coming forward saying that there was stuff found. There was a shirt found in one of these like little huts along the trail,
Okay.
a trailhead.
Yeah.
And so there was a shirt found in there. They took it, nothing came of it. At the very end, they still have not found him. And then some witness came forward. Oh, no, he's living in Georgia. He's fine. They never went to investigate in Georgia.
Right.
They never called to verify that he was alive. They just closed the case.
Wow.
They found one of his shoes, I think, like 4 miles away.
Right. So, there's a lot of things that are weird about this. Number one, these kids were playing hide and seek around the family, and he disappears without a trace or in the immediate surroundings, and no one heard him.
Well, yeah, and within sight of everyone, too.
Yeah. How does that happen?
Now, I have a question. Whenever the military, you said the military, they were already there, or they came in afterwards?
They were already there doing exercises for some military thing. And then these were not just military people. These were like Green Berets.
Yeah. I'm wondering, were they there for a cleanup?
And that is also a question.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot
that happens.
It was a massive undertaking with all the people there. Thousands of people showed up to look for this boy. Nothing. And my heart goes out to the parents because this father called the FBI every single day.
Yeah.
Of course, any parent would. And that's like, you could just feel his anguish. That loss. So it was really just profound. Good night.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, it was really just really heart-wrenching to read through this and to summarize it and to learn about as much as I could and understand that there's more to it than just what you read. There's a lot more to it. And, with the feral people that are still there, and they are still there because later in the year, we got a permit to go into Cades Cove after hours to do an investigation, a paranormal investigation with Paranormal 411. And so one of the rangers pulls out a map. He goes, listen, you are going to stay here. He goes, you see this area up here? I said, yeah. We're like, mm-hmm. They're like, that's where the feral people are. You don't go there. He goes, you stay away from here. You stay right in this area. Yeah. And we did. And so, but I thought that was pretty, interesting that they know exactly where the feral people are.
Yeah.
They know how to keep people protected and how to keep the feral people away. But what I don't understand is if they are still causing problems, why isn't somebody taking care of it? So that is the question that I have.
Well, I will suggest that I may try to look at this a little closer, because there are feral people that come out of the mountains every year to get certain supplies. And they usually come into the area right around where I live, one of the communities, Bryson City or Cherokee or Whittier. And I know at least one person who knows at least one person who is one of the feral people. And I've asked him about this before, and I will ask him about it again to be sure. But my understanding is, and he was pretty adamant that he believed this was the truth, that the feral people had nothing to do with it. That it was probably more of a hairy person, I'll put it that way, that they think that did it. But the feral people themselves claim that they did not do it. And that, like I said, all I can say is this guy I know believes them. But I will ask him to dig into it a little more.
Yeah. And I think that's what they thought. Me personally, I don't think it was a feral person.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
I don't think it was at all. Just
Why
because, can you just imagine a feral person walking up to a child and grabbing him? That child's going to scream.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Adam and I have different opinions on this, which is fine. That's why we work so well together. We respect each other's opinions, but we can have very different opinions on things. And based on the evidence and based on being a mom and knowing that if something's going to grab a child, they're going to scream. They're going to make some noise.
Right.
Now, part of this case, it uncovered something that a lot of the investigators never said. Not even the news report said this. He had a severe learning disability, Dennis Martin did. His body was disproportionate. His head was larger than his body. He was a little odd. And his parents his dad put him in a special school for learning disability children. Now, I know for a fact that those schools were not regulated. They had everything and anything in those schools.
Yeah.
And it was more of a babysitter from 8 to 3. And they could come out dirty. You just don't know. Right. And it could be abusive. It could be whatever. And I've seen it happen. I witnessed some things in the 70s and 80s. We had one in our town, and it was awful. It was awful. Kids would come home with mats and bugs in their hair, and it was awful. I'm thinking that he was taken by somebody he knew. They took this path every single year at the exact same time. Everybody knew where they were going. And if a family member did not agree with how they were handling his learning disability, and if they felt that he was being abused and this was the only way to do it, I can see them going, come here, we're going to surprise them and come with me. That is just a thought. I'm not saying it's accurate. I'm not saying it's right.
Well, that would explain whenever the FBI cleared the case. That would explain that.
Yeah, because they're like, yeah, he's been living in Georgia. He's fine. He's living with family in Georgia. Now, they never went to see if that was really him. They never tested to see if that was really him.
Yeah.
They just closed the case.
Yeah.
Now, Adam is more on the fence of, I think it's a hairy man. I think it's a squatch. I think it just, and took him because of, the witness that they dismissed, seeing something running off along the hillside may have been evidence of something taking him.
Yeah.
So you just don't know. You really, I don't know if we'll ever know.
Yeah, and what you just described is more like what the feral people told the friend of mine that they thought happened, that it was hearing people. And you talk about why they could have done it without him screaming. Well, they could have very well just, with the force of their hand, they could have simply put it over his face to the point that he couldn't have made any sound, or they might have actually. I mean, I'd hate to think that they unalived him on the spot, but it depends on what their purpose for him was.
It's very possible.
Yeah, that's what they did with Dallas Gilbert in Ohio. There was a rogue one, grabbed him by the head, twisted it to break his neck because that's what they do, and threw him up over his shoulder and started walking off. But
probably for the purpose of food, I would assume.
Exactly. That's what it was.
Yeah. So, we'll never know. I mean,
unless, like you said, somebody would go to Georgia and find out where he's supposed to be.
I know.
And do DNA tests. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the FBI won't tell anybody where he's supposed to be in Georgia, right?
Nope.
Is his father still alive yet?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay.
Well, another thing, and I don't know what your opinion is of her, but Jessica Jones?
Oh, yes.
I think she may have already done a
remote viewing? Yeah, she did a remote viewing on this.
Did she?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did she come up with? I can't remember.
She came up with, I forget everything, but at the very end, she was like taken, abducted.
As in somebody he knew.
That you don't know.
Yeah, that could go either way.
Go any way.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So he didn't wander off on his own.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think very many people thought he did that. Now, I can't remember the other name you said, and I was just doing a little search, and it's interesting. It appears that all references to this are gone off the internet, but about 6 or 8 months ago, there was a man found in a tree, or maybe it's more like a year ago, and I can never think of the name of that place. Somebody had to remind me in the chat the last time.
Was it Land Between the Lakes?
No, here at Cherokee, or here in Smoky Mountain National Park. So just up the road from me, probably less than 10 miles. There's a very popular area. You have to drive up there, and then they've changed the name of it now. It used to have an English name, but they've changed it back to a Native American name, and I couldn't pronounce it if I knew it. But anyway, so now it would have been about 8 years ago, a young man out of Asheville came out here who was an experienced hiker. He went to go hiking, and he was supposed to be gone for 2 or 3 days. Well, that's somebody I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Hi, Steamboat. Anyway, he didn't come back anyway when he was supposed to go back to Asheville. And so they reported him as missing. The local police went up there and they found his car parked where it was supposed to be. So they went up a number of the common trails and they found his campsite. And his tent was still there. His backpack was there. There was a day pack that was missing that he would carry when he went on short hikes during the day. And yeah, thank you there. It's I've been working on it. Anyway, they never found the guy. You never found him. Well, just last summer, there were some other people up there hiking, and they got off the main trails. They were back into areas where people normally don't go. And one of them noticed something up in a tree that was an odd color. It was summer, so everything was green, but they saw what looked to them from the ground up a probably close to 70 or 80 foot tall tree. It appeared to be white, as like in a skeleton. So one of them got the binoculars out and they looked and they said, "Oh my gosh, that is a human skeleton up there." So they call the authorities, who come out, and of course they cleared the area, but they at the time verified it was this guy from Asheville. They found him and identified the body. but he was like 60 feet or something up in a tree,
Wow.
wedged in some limbs up there, and he found his day pack on the ground right beneath the tree. So you're left with two options. I mean, bears can't climb up there and carry somebody. We have some cats around here, but not one big enough to carry a human up that high.
Right.
So he either climbed up there on his own for some reason and got stuck, which really makes no sense.
Right.
Or something carried him up there, which would indicate the hairy man again.
Yep.
But I tell you what I do know is, who did we have on, Mary? We had somebody on here within the last month that told us they tried to go there and it was closed, that they had closed it off where people couldn't go in there. I got to look this up before I go nuts here trying to think of the name of it. But anyway, I thought maybe you guys were going to do an investigation into that particular event. I think that would be a very interesting one to look into.
Yeah, that is very interesting because we did do an investigation in Land Between the Lakes because of that unaliving of that family.
Yeah.
Where they were shredded and the
Right.
girl was found shredded and partially consumed up in a tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we went to Land Between the Lakes in November of this past year and filmed there, and lots of film, and that was insane.
Did you go to the actual park? Okay. Yeah. I stood under that tree.
Oh,
Yeah.
So Jessica Jones did a remote viewing on that,
mhm.
and she definitely said, as I recall, I'm pretty sure she said that was definitely a dog man of some sort.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was, and I'm studying, and I give Greg Ogles a lot of credit because when we go and film, I have ideas on different things with experiments, and sometimes they can be pretty dangerous. So I always ask before I do it. And I said, listen, I read about these reports about that family. And I said, one of the reports I read is that they believe the animal was agitated by the cologne the father was wearing.
Yes. Yeah. Musk base.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I said,
It was the 80s.
yeah. So the musk, what other colognes are there? Maybe a pheromone cologne, something.
Right.
So I said, what are your thoughts about me getting a male and female pheromone colognes and a musk? And I did.
Oh, geez.
I went to the dollar store, got some brightly colored fabric dog toys. And I found, and it just so happens, they were selling feather boas there too. So I got two of those. And I said, here's what we're going to do. So we went out there and he goes, you know what? I want activity in base camp. I said, well, then why don't we try this around base camp? He goes, okay. So I got the dog toys, sprayed all 3 colognes on the dog toys and tied them to a tree. Then we start having that night, we start having activity. It definitely was not a dog man.
Yeah. It depends on where you're camped at because the dog men are north and the Bigfoot are south.
And so we got a lot of Bigfoot activity in, and one of them was a juvenile.
Yeah.
And the juvenile was ornery as all get out.
Yeah.
And he stomped around and he played in the water, the big thing of water that we had. And he was scratching on things. Like I had a cooler and he was scratching on it. And so we had them come into camp every night, and they didn't bother the tents. They did not like the campers. If you were in a camper, you were getting bumped every night.
Wow.
Yeah. They don't like generators either.
No, they don't.
Just ask Kumbo.
So then they would throw rocks in the middle of the night, and they would clank rocks, and then they would whistle. They would make all kinds of noise. And so we did go out and do some investigations around the area. We got a squatch on therm.
Okay.
We got something on therm that we can't even identify. We still can't. It will be in the film. And I can tell you that it looks like a garden gnome floating across the forest floor. Wasn't big. It was just little. Just floating across. It just disappears.
There's a lot of little people that are seen there also.
Mhm.
Yep.
I was just like, and they're like, what is that? I'm like, I don't know what that is. And we got it on therm and we got it recorded. And we're like, okay, well, we'll just figure it out later. And, but the one event that we went to, because we were doing different experiments every night out in the field. And what we found out didn't work, we didn't do again. Like, okay, we're going to scratch that. Okay, next time we're going to scratch that. So we realized that every time that we went out with these big men in camouflage with pew-pews strapped to them, we didn't have any activity.
Right.
So I told Greg, I'm like, no more. They're not coming with us. I said, you know, a lot of the guys are going home. I said, we have a lot of females left. I said, we have an all-female team go out there. And then he's like, I'll go out with my camera. Jim will go out with his camera. Now, Jim and Greg are not tall men. They're not big, giant men. So here we all go, you know, and I have my bear spray on me, but we're not threatening.
Right.
And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to capture what was really out there, what was going to happen, you know, and kind of go in aggressive, but vulnerable to see if they would challenge us. Well, earlier in the day, we did go to this place and we said, okay, we have an all-female team coming out here. All the females went out and we urinated all around the perimeter. And then one of the ladies got a ape pheromone disc and hung it up. They were like, we'll see y'all later. So we did. We went back that night, and it was the night before a full moon. So it was the moon illuminated everything. There were no clouds. So you could see pretty well. And so we're making our way up, halfway up the hill, and we're like, okay. Now, earlier in the week, as I was going to what they call a bathroom there, which was just four walls and a hole in the floor, I got growled at on my way there. And I said, okay, you know, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to go to the bathroom, come back out. The next day, I learned that if you sing, like I was singing You Are My Sunshine, it calms them right down. Calms them right down. Yeah. So I learned on my way to the bathroom, I would sing You Are My Sunshine. Nothing ever happened. So, note to everybody. So Greg goes, no, You Are My Sunshines tonight. You're going to go in there and you're going to be aggressive. I said, well, why don't I growl and mimic that growl that happened to me earlier? He's like, yeah. I said, okay, I'm going to start it out, 3 growls. Let's see what happens. So I go in. I was like, okay, here we go. Like, cameras are rolling. We're all ready. All the ladies are like, yeah, let's do this. I growl those 3 like, rah, rah, rah. And from the ridge, you hear, bam, bam, bam. And the whole ground's shaking. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I looked at Greg. He's like, keep it going. I'm like, okay. So I growl again. It happens again. But now it's going on and on and on. So Melissa does a howl. And now this pounding turns more rhythmic. And all of a sudden, all this movement starts coming in from the forest. You hear everything coming in. And I'm like, okay, we got it. We got it. So then I believe it was Melissa. She goes, I don't feel good. I'm getting nauseous. I have a bad headache. I'm getting lightheaded. I'm like, get behind me. Get behind me. I'll try to block it. So when she does that, I look up to the tree line at the top of the hill and I see a light behind a tree. I'm like, there is nothing out here. And I'm going, everybody see that light? They're like, yeah. They're like, what is it? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, we got to keep an eye on that because that's not normal. So we're still making noises and more. Nothing showing up on the therm yet because they're all still deep in the forest, but they're moving all around. And then Melissa feels better. She cuts out, Jamie. She goes, I don't feel good. I'm like, get behind me. So now she gets behind me and we're still looking around. And now there's a weird dog barking behind us. Where this dog appeared, don't know. It's in a field behind us. I'm like, okay. Then we hear what we think is a car with a loud radio moving through the forest. Now there's no road there. Nothing. We're like, what is happening right now? So I'm like, we're getting all of this on film. Everything's being recorded because this is now just bizarre. Jamie starts to feel better and I look up and now this light is in a perfect oval. And it has little sparklies, fairy lights all around it. And I'm like, are y'all seeing this? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, we need to keep an eye on this because I don't have a good feeling about this. Now, all of this stuff is happening and I'm watching this light and I see something crawl out of it on all fours, lanky.
Oh.
And it's moving.
Oh, crap.
Now, I know as far away as it was, I know it has no fur.
Yeah.
And it was long and lanky and just like skinny, long arms and legs and fingers. And it's just there. And I'm like, and I don't know what to call it. So I'm like, I have a crawler at my 12 o'clock. And they're like, oh gosh. I said, I have 2 crawlers at my 12 o'clock because the second one came out and here comes a third.
Oh, geez.
All 3 of them are at the top of the hill out of this light and they're all moving. And I'm going, oh, that's what it is.
I knew.
That's what it was right there. All 3 of them. Immediately, Jamie and Melissa get sick. They're nauseous. They have knots in their stomach. They're lightheaded. They're not good. I said, get behind me. So while all this is going down, all this movement is happening around us. The car with the weird sound is now gone. The dog is still barking behind us. And I have 3 crawlers up ahead and this light in an oval. And I'm going. So we're all like looking around. I'm like, anything can get us like right now. The only thing I have on me is my bear spray. So Greg goes, I'm going to let out a long growl. I said, okay, let's just stir it up even more. He lets out this, rah. He gets done and then yells. I see him throw his camera from one hand to the other, a very expensive camera, by the way, and go. And I look up and one of these crawlers is like galloping, crawling, running towards us.
Oh.
And I'm going, huh. And immediately, split second, I know I have 2 females behind me that are not good. They're sick. If this thing gets past us, I don't know what it's going to do. So I grab my bear spray and I lunge forward and I hit it with my bear spray. So it halts and retreats back. We all have to retreat because it's bear spray. So we move back down the hill, all the way down to where our trucks were. As soon as we get down to where our trucks were, right behind us in the field where the dog's barking is a woman screaming. Jim turns around with his camera. He goes, I've got something. Kristen turns around with her therm. She goes, I have a large bipedal creature watching us right now in the field. We're like, okay, now the movement is closing in and getting closer to us. The crawlers are still doing their thing up at the top of the hill. that oval is still there. And now I look to my left because we're like, keep your eyes open, stay close. I look to my left. There are 2 red orbs in front of my truck. I look to the right. There are 2 red orbs behind the other truck. And we're all like this. And I look to my left again, and a massive squatch walks right behind my truck and disappears into thin air. And I'm going, what just happened? Now this thing was massive, huge. The bottom of his butt cheek was at the top of the bed of my truck. The chest cavity was massive. Arms were huge. He had no neck, none. It just went from head to shoulders. The muscles in his legs were, it was, I can't even begin to describe. So he was walking this way, he was sideways. When he walked, half my truck disappeared. And then he just gone. I'm like, oh, what? And then all of a sudden, Jim goes, my battery died and my backup battery died. Greg goes, my battery's dead too, and my backup battery's dead. Cell phones died. Kristen's therm stopped recording. My therm died. It didn't just die, it was fried.
Yeah.
And I'm going, now what? So we're like head on a swivel, because we've got the bipedal creature in the field behind us, the dog still over here, which don't know if that's a real dog or not. We've got crawlers, we've got movement coming in all around us, and we have 2 individuals that may or may not get still sick. So Greg goes, I'm calling it. We're done. This is now a safety issue. We got everything that we needed. We're done. Let's leave now. Everybody stick together. So we made sure that when we arrived, our windows were down, the keys were in the vehicle. So if we got in trouble, we just jumped in and we could go.
Yeah.
I jumped in the driver's seat. I had 3 ladies with me. The 2 that got sick again. I felt like somebody was sitting on my chest and grabbing my throat. I just got in, started it up, made sure that the truck behind me started up, and we just got out of there.
Yeah.
And we were not feeling well until we got to the top of the hill, made a left to get out of there, and then all of us just felt fine. And we got back to base camp where all the big guys were that pushed everything away. And we told them what happened, and they were furious. They're like, you could have died. I said, we came here for this experience and we had it. We got it on film, and now we just have to edit it. So that movie is going to be coming out in 2027.
Okay. Quick question. When were you there?
We were there in November of 2025.
Okay.
And that was again in Smoky Mountain National Park?
No, that was in Land Between the Lakes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Land Between the Lakes.
Yeah, LBL. Yeah,
So-
because now the park rangers, they won't allow any more Bigfooters in. They are really clamping down on anyone coming in and Bigfooting and
Yes, go there, tell them you're a bird watcher.
yeah,
We're just
Yeah.
giving you thanks. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we're
it's
just here to
probably-
watch the chickadees.
yeah, that too much stirring up of activity probably.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And- It was crazy.
Yeah.
couple things real quick. The place I was trying to think of here in Smoky Mountain National Park that you might put a bug in Greg's ear, and if he needs a little bit of help, I can kind of give him a guide around the area.
Yeah.
But it's called Klingman's Dome.
Oh, Klingman's
Yeah.
Dome. Yeah.
That's where they found the guy up in the tree, but all the reports on the internet are gone. I've been searching and they're not there. And
Oh,
they were
wow.
still there just a couple weeks ago. So they've taken them down here recently. And then Melissa Adair. that you were talking about, right?
Yes.
And so Mary doesn't know this yet, but I've been after her to be on our show. And during the show tonight, she has agreed to be on with us on November 11th.
Oh,
So,
cool. That's
that,
awesome.
she'll be on. She'll
All
be on. And I've been out with her. Apalachicola National Forest was the one I couldn't think of earlier. We were there one night, and she screamed, and she does the greatest female Sasquatch scream you'll ever hear. You probably have heard it. But anyway, she did a scream, and we were, gosh, I bet we were a half a mile away, and we heard it. I was with Joanna Kuva. You know her?
No.
Joe. She goes by Joey. Anyway, she was with me, her and her son. Her son is like 17 or 18. So we were off in one area, and we heard her scream. And then over the next, probably 10 minutes, we heard 3 more screams. And we kind of thought they were all her because they all sounded the same. But they kind of sounded like they came from different areas. So when we got back to base camp, we got back first, and then pretty quick they come in. And one of us said to her, I might have been me, I don't remember, we heard you doing them screams, but we couldn't figure out how you were moving around so much. And she says, I only did the first one. The other 3 were not me. And
wow.
But they sounded just like her. And that was in Apalachicola National Forest. So
yep, get the stuff rolling, get it stirred up. And it was really an amazing experience to go out there and witness all of that. But we've learned a lot with the filming. We have a new film coming out. It's premiering at the end of September called The Awakened, Measured Doubt. That is a paranormal film, and we had a lot of fun on that one. So that one's coming out. The premiere is September 26th, and then on September 27th, it will be on Relic TV, which is an app on Roku and Fire TV. So everybody, you can watch it, and so that'll be a lot of fun. Everybody will have a lot of fun watching that.
Yeah, I'm going to try to watch all those films. I love this stuff. The only one of Greg's I've seen is and I can never think of the name of it, but the one
Downy
about
Burger?
the Alabama. Yeah, there you go, Downy Burger.
The Downy Burger.
That's the first one he did, I think, and that's the one I've seen. And I haven't had a chance to really watch any more of his, but I enjoyed that. He said he didn't think he did a very good job on it, and I said, "Well, I think it was great. I had a blast watching that."
Yeah,
but,
he's a great filmmaker, and he doesn't give himself enough credit. He beats himself up because I think we're our own worst critic.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, you're doing fantastic, and I give him so much credit because he is such a visionary, and he allows people to just find their own boundaries wherever that is. And he has never said no to me about an experiment or something that we're doing. He's like, go for it. I pitched him an idea about a little over a year ago. I said, let's do a talk show, not a podcast, a talk show, have it recorded. So we did Beyond the Ordinary season 1. And he goes, okay, go ahead. This is your baby. I'll do this and I'll do that, whatever. I said, okay. So we did an experiment, like what worked, what didn't. We figured out what worked. And so we're on season 2 right now, filming that. And we figured out what worked. And we know not to film an episode of Beyond the Ordinary in a location of high strangeness because they will shut our cameras off.
Oh.
They don't have our cameras.
Oh, yeah.
So we're like, all right, that's fine. Every single episode that we shot in the field, one of the cameras went dead.
Yeah.
So now we do it all remote, like on a StreamYard type setting. So we'll be having that on Relic TV. And then we'll have really good special episodes on our YouTube channel, which is Relic Films channel on YouTube and Relic Films page on Facebook. And then we have a call-in show called Liminal Operator that is coming on this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So it's a call-in show that people can share their experiences.
Oh.
So if somebody has had an experience that they don't know who to talk to or don't know, they can call in and talk to us and we'll talk them through it. Like this is what happened. And this is this. We're not going to, we don't judge.
Yeah,
We're
we
not
don't either.
tell you that it didn't happen. We're going to listen because you experienced it. It happened to you.
Right.
Right.
Sounds like coast to coast, only
Yeah.
version.
Yeah. So a lot of good
Well-
things coming up. And he's like, yeah, do it. And then we've got Relic TV so everybody could see everything.
Yeah.
We try to do all the same stuff here, but we don't have near the audience that Greg has. Apparently, Mary has a huge audience, but a lot of them watch the show after the fact.
Yeah.
That's
But
okay.
we don't have a lot, and I like questions. You know, I like it when people put questions, and
Mhm.
we've had nights before where we had a lot of questions. But I think you do such a good job of explaining things that people don't really ask any questions.
Yeah. They're just, they're commenting.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. Thank
Yeah.
you. This has been amazing. It's been a wonderful time.
Well, and as usual, you're welcome back. We are coming up on our 2-hour mark. So
Yeah.
I guess if you've got what's the final most exciting? I mean, I can't imagine there's much more than what you've already told us, but have you had a time when like you really thought you were going to die or anything?
That night when that rake came at us, I didn't know if we were going to live or die that night.
Yeah. Oh,
I
my.
really didn't. And, there's just times like that. You're like, I go out into the field, I do a lot of investigating, and I know I never do an investigation or go out into the field without bear spray.
Yeah.
It saved my life now twice.
There you go. Well, I might need to start carrying it because I really don't carry my gun out in the woods very much. Of course, I don't go out in the woods much anymore. I'm not able to walk so good. I stay around the base camp, but I usually leave my gun in the camper. I had to pull it out once here a couple of years ago because Mary sicked some bad squatches on me. She told them to come get me.
I didn't stick them on you. You just happened to be in the right spot at the right time.
Nah, I think you told them, go get that guy. Go get that guy in the camper. They don't like campers.
No, they don't.
No.
They really don't. So I'm like, I'll just sleep in a tent. I'm fine.
Yeah.
They like tents.
I don't put the jacks down on my camper usually because it's just too much trouble. And if I find a level spot, it's just me. I don't care if the thing rocks around a little bit. Boy, that one night they had it rocking hard. They got on it.
Yeah.
They were rocking me back and forth to the point where I literally thought at one point that the tires had to be coming off the ground. They were rocking it so hard, but
they must have been having some fun.
Oh, they were. I think they were juveniles too. And they were having a blast.
Yeah, they found prints, I think, in another area where they were harassing another friend of mine, her camper, and they found juvenile prints. But up there, they had taken some pine boughs and were brushing out their footprints.
Yeah.
But they didn't quite cover them up enough. But yeah, this is an active area that I like to hold campouts at. And
that sounds like a ton of fun.
Oh, it is.
Well,
I love it there.
Yeah, it's an area. I've been going to the same area for probably close to 10 years now. It's a very active area and almost always have some activity. Last year was kind of an exception, but I did bring a new guy who'd never been out before, and he got a couple of whoops the very first night we were there before anybody else showed up. But then after that, we didn't get anything. So,
well, that's exciting. I mean, I love a good whoop.
Oh yeah. Anything.
Scared the crap out of him.
I know. I think I had set up my tent right at the tree line, hoping, for something, but no, they didn't stick around.
No, we did get a question finally. You want to put that up, Mary?
Yeah, here we go. Has Natalie heard about Creepy Mountain and Holland's hunting camp in Northeast Alabama near where Mark Green lives?
I believe I have. I was invited up there. I couldn't go, but Greg Ogles and Jim Powell, who is a part of Relic, they both live in Alabama.
Oh, okay.
And
All right.
so, we go there sometimes or go through there sometimes. So yeah, I mean, we've actually talked about doing some investigations there, along with North Florida, the Panhandle of Florida, because that's wildly active as well.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my. Do you know Pat Rance?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. Yeah, he's also from the Panhandle.
Oh, okay.
Florida.
Yeah.
Well, and there's some folks that live there that I've met a couple of times. My brain's getting old. I can't think of their name. It's a couple, and they have a habituation on their property. I'll think of it here in a few minutes, but I can't think of their name right now.
Okay. It's okay.
I actually sat one night and talked with the lady for 2 hours and recorded a lot of her stuff, and it was amazing the stuff they've had happen on their property.
Wow.
They've got Bigfoot and Dogman both there, and I'm looking here. Let's see. No, that's not it. I was looking here to see if I could find it. I know I've got it saved in this computer somewhere.
So yeah, somewhere. It's all
Well,
good. My computer has so much stuff in it. I've got to go through it.
yeah.
While he's looking, what area of West Virginia are you from?
So I'm in that little northern area by Pittsburgh.
Yes.
So I'm originally from Weirton.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm just 40 miles north of Pittsburgh,
Okay.
Newcastle.
Where at?
Newcastle.
Oh, I know Newcastle. Yes.
Yeah. And out in the country.
Yes. And the Allegheny National Forest.
Yes.
I have a friend, BJ, who is in that area, and she goes, it's so active.
Oh my. Yeah. Yeah. We've got a regular research area that we go to there near Marionville, and just amazing activity. Just love it there.
Yeah.
Every time we go.
Yeah, I heard about that place. I've not done an investigation there. That is one of on my bucket list to go.
Yeah. The area that we research, it's also on the Bigfoot live stream.
Okay.
If you've heard of that, it's an app.
Okay.
And I usually tell people about it anyways here at the end of the show. Hey, David, good to see you. But it's an app that shows cameras throughout the country. There's a camera in the Allegheny, two cameras or two research areas with multiple cameras going 24/7 live streaming on this app. They're both in the Allegheny National Forest. There's cameras down in Texas, British Columbia, and up in on Les Stroud's property, Survivor Man on his property in Ontario, Canada.
Wow.
And this is an app available on both Android and iOS. It's just look up Bigfoot live stream, and you can get on there, be part of the research. You can watch it anytime, jump in there and just watch. And there's a button that you push if you happen to see something that's suspicious. And it's fantastic. We've had a lot of reports and a lot of activity.
That sounds amazing.
It is. It's a fun project that we're part of, and we're loving it.
That sounds fun.
So, Mark, did you find that?
I did not.
Oh,
I did not. I shouldn't bring things up but if I didn't bring things up that I can't remember, I wouldn't be able to bring up anything.
It's all good. You'll find it like in the middle of the night or in the next morning.
You'll remember it then.
Yeah.
I do have to say, well, I won't say it, but Les Stroud's great. Les Stroud's great. One thing I will say this, I was very disappointed that Brian King Sharp, who has done a good interview with Les Stroud within the last year, has come out that he believes the Patterson Gimlin film is fake, which it is not, but they've convinced him it is, and that's a shame, because I think that pretty much ends his Bigfoot career, in my opinion. I know I won't watch him anymore.
Yeah, we all make mistakes, you know.
Well,
who knows?
Yeah, if he comes to his senses and corrects his error, but as it stands right now, I'm not too interested in what he has to say. But anyway, doesn't matter. I try not to, you know, I've told you before, I try not to alienate anyone, but there are certain people with, you know, names like people that want to make a lot of money that I don't interact with. Maybe Natalie does. I don't know.
I actually, there are times I have to interact with people because I work conferences.
Well, okay. So you know what I'm talking about.
So that's why I have to interact with some of these folks.
Yeah.
But you know who I meant there?
I do know who you mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I'd have to turn down a conference before I'd work with. He did me really bad, so, but that's just me. If he hasn't done you bad, that's fine. I have not had a chance to talk to Renee very much. I've heard good things about her, but I've talked to Jim Fay, and I think he played the idiot on the show, kind of, but he actually is very intelligent, and he knows a lot. He knows a lot.
I have heard nothing but fantastic things about him. I've never met him personally. I have met Cliff. I've met Renee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Cliff. I met Cliff. He was okay. I mean, he wasn't rude, but he wasn't overly friendly. But I'm not pretty.
Very introverted.
You know?
He's
everybody's pretty. Everybody's friends with you, Natalie, because you're pretty. I'm not pretty. You know, Mary made friends over the years because she's pretty. I'm not pretty. So.
I just get in people's faces and make them talk to me. That's what
somebody told me years ago that I was smart. I should run for president. I said, they'll never elect a bald man for president. And I'm right. There's never been a bald man been president.
Oh my. No, I've turned down a few conferences, speaking at conferences. I've lost money because of other people being there. So, no, I won't. Just won't do it. But that's right. That's the way it is.
Yep. Okay, so first of all, we want to say we appreciate the audience very, very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for coming and listening to Bumping the Night says bald man for president. And toupees are useful. I've never had one. Never had one. Maybe I should get a long, look like Tiny Tim or something.
Well, Mark, you just let your beard grow, then you can wrap it up and tie it on top of
it. Just
my
like
dad
I'm growing mine with a beard.
I've got a little hair on the side of my head, and my dad used to grow his real long and then comb it over.
Oh, no.
My gosh.
Had the big comb over.
Oh, no.
But let's see, what do we got? Bunt the Night Monster, I am doing. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was I saying? Just how we appreciate Natalie being on.
Thank you.
And I usually go over who we have coming up if we want to do that now, Mary.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. I got to figure out where we're at. We're in August. So next week is Adam Davies.
Yay,
Now, you pronounce his name Davis. Does he go by Davis or Davies?
Yes, I was corrected because I called him Davies, and he says no. The English enunciation of Davies is Davis.
All right.
Okay.
He will answer to Davies because it's an American thing that we say Davies.
Yeah.
I got you.
he's like, if somebody calls me Davies, I still answer, but he did tell me it is Davis.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
that way we'll know
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you. Yeah. So the week
That's
after
fine.
that is September 2nd is Gary Spikes. And
Yes.
he is a experiencer out of Oklahoma.
Yes.
He'll have some wonderful stories.
Oh my,
on,
yeah. Need to have him
I
on.
Love Gary.
went the
Yes.
wrong way. September 9th is Stan Gordon.
Yes.
So
From
take us back
Pennsylvania.
to Chestnut Ridge.
Yes.
Let's see, week after that. And I don't know if Natalie knows this guy, but Mike Lucci, I think it's pronounced Lucci. He's out of New York, investigator, but he used to have a podcast on, oh gosh, here I am again. It's, who did Jessica Jones used to have a podcast on that she doesn't do anymore?
I don't remember.
Oh gosh, it's they're on all night. They advertise that they're on 24 hours a day. The network. Anyway, he used to be on there. He quit, and then he told me a while back he was thinking about starting up again. So he'll be on. He'll tell us about all that plus his investigations.
Mhm.
Week after that is Carter Bouchard, who's an investigator and author. And I'm not sure, he may have made a film or two. I'm not positive, but I know he's done a lot of things. So he's on the 23rd of September. 30th of September is Chris Noel. I need to look up where he's from exactly. It's up either upstate New York or Vermont or New Hampshire, one up in there. Okay, let's see. Okay, he was the, what did I say, 30th of September. 7th of October, Cindy Bueno Goodbreak, Idaho researcher and Texas, and
Yes.
she'll be on to tell us some good stuff.
Yeah. Can't wait for her.
Yeah. Week after that,
Amazing.
the 14th. Yep. Amazing. All of these are amazing.
Yes.
Week after that, Daniel Hageman out of Pennsylvania, I believe.
Yes. Butler, Pennsylvania.
21st is Jessica Jones, 21st of October. And newly on our schedule, 11th of November is Melissa Adair.
Melissa.
All right. All right.
I think at that point we will have had the entire, pretty much the whole crew of Relic Films on.
Relic is all over the place.
Yeah.
Relic
Yeah,
TV.
And I think Melissa, I don't know when Melissa joined, because when I knew her, like when we were going in Florida and I was on the same outings with her, she never mentioned Relic. So I think that's maybe kind of a new thing.
It was in November when we went to the LBL.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mhm. So it's
Yeah,
not
so
even a year.
I haven't seen her in at least 3 years, I would say, because my health got to where I couldn't, I just couldn't do the long trips and stuff like Florida and things. So, well, that's what we have coming up. So I hope everybody that's here tonight will tell their friends, come back next week, bring somebody with you. We're trying to grow the channel. I want to make I want Mary to be overwhelmed. And that's my goal. That is my goal.
Your goal breaker.
Bring it on.
She said she got me on here to take the load off of her. I'm trying to put more load on her.
You're so kind.
Gee, thanks, Mark.
Well, the more people watch, the more income. You know how much money these people make off YouTube. You know, they get rich off this. Yeah, they get rich off this. What was it you told me last time, Mary? You were making like $8 a month or something.
Yeah.
And it cost $50 a week or $50 a month or whatever just to have StreamYard.
Yep. Yeah, 40, I can't remember, right around there.
So,
yeah.
Yep, she's getting rich off of it, so I figure I want to make her richer.
You got to get those super chats in, or
Yeah.
There we have that, but not very many people do them, and we've always said it's better if they just send Mary money on Venmo, because then they don't take a percentage of it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's all I have. Other than Natalie, it's been wonderful spending time with you, at least on the camera. And I hope I get a chance to meet you in person at some point.
I know. I hope so too. And this has been fantastic. I appreciate you both, and everybody in chat and everybody who is watching and has watched. Thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.
Yeah. And maybe next time I'm not doing as many campouts as I do, as I used to do. But if I do another one in the Allegheny National Forest, I'll give you a heads up.
Oh, please do. Please do.
Yes.
How about the one we're having that I'm putting on in November?
Yeah.
Or October. Well, no, I think she had a whole bunch of stuff going on the first week of October, though.
Yeah, I'm going to be gone, and then I'll be at the Texas Bigfoot conference. We'll have a booth there.
Okay, fun.
So
that should be
able to do that one.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do mine in October, and hopefully, if my health is okay, I'm going to go from there over to one at Salt Creek in Ohio.
Ooh,
theirs is right the weekend right after mine is over. So
yeah, Salt Fork State Park.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I love it there.
Yeah,
except for the mosquitoes. I won't go in the summer. Nope.
Yeah.
Hopefully by October the mosquitoes will have retreated.
Yeah, they're pretty much
you want to. Let me show you what I got, though. And this is going to travel with me everywhere I go. Do it show up in the camera?
Oh, yes. Yes. That's
I got a bug zapper. And
all right.
It sits right here next to my chair. And I sit here at night on YouTube or whatever, and it's going zit, 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 zit. I love it. My favorite sound.
And see all the carnage underneath. It's
yeah. Oh yeah, it does. It's amazing. That thing kills more bugs than I knew I had.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll get you back on again.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know. I'd love to come back on and tell you some more crazy stories.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure we only heard a very small portion.
Yeah, I got more.
Yeah.
Believe me, yep.
All right.
All right. And thank you, everyone. I see y'all and try to wave hello to everyone who's been popping in and saying hi. And
thank you.
And God bless everyone.
There you go. All righty. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. God bless. And Monkey Wench out.